Welcome back, Ferris State Bulldogs. We are here today, and we're going to be going against Boston University. But first, who's this new guy?
So I've been on the stream before, but as a player, not a caster. So filling in for Cody today, my name is Wunder, aka Hunter, and Cody is far too busy watching his dog or something. Who do I have with me?
Well, my name is Unknown, aka Noah. Yes, we had our old caster, but he is dog sitting. Sad face. Anyway, we are 4-0 in the season right now. We're going to be looking forward to this game against Boston and I believe Eichenwald. We don't have the map list, but that's what they have set up right now. So we're thinking it's going to be Eichenwald. But what are you expecting from this map?
From Eichenwald, it can be kind of a flurry of things. Generally, you have that typical Reinhardt-Zarya composition, and knowing that it's the Bulldog strength, it's more than likely. But you can also make do with some dive compositions. There's a lot of high ground on Eichenwald. But going first point, we're probably going to see those hammer brawls.
Right, definitely. Like last time we've seen Eichenwald being played, was it Bry using Doomfist and was literally on top of the map the majority of the time?
Oh yeah, with Bry on our permanent DPS spot, we could definitely see it. There's a lot of shenanigans with Doom.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting, and I hope he uses Doom so we can see him just flying around everywhere we see.
Yeah, besides the potential Doom pick, when it comes to point A, there's a lot of kind of off-hero swaps you can do in order to keep them at that choke. Going on to point A, there's that one single bridge you have to get under. So if you have a Junkrat or a Hanzo or anything that can just throw projectiles in the general area, you have the potential to full hold them before they can reach point.
Right, especially when we actually have a new player. If you guys weren't here for the first game, our new player is Ikaros. He is the off-tank playing Zarya, and he has exceeded our expectations. We hope to see more of that this game.
Oh, yeah, that first game, we would always cut to the Ikaros on that Zarya, and always 100 energy, really getting the synergy with Ricochet, the Reinhardt. And then even going on flanks, the DPS Zarya is real in this meta.
Oh, it's huge, especially when you saw at the very end he did that grab and it just melted everybody. Not to mention the fact that we did see Telos on some insane Ashe plays today. But make sure when before the game starts, not to mention you guys got to go check out our stuff. If you're a fair student and you like to play video games and you see yourself playing at esports level against collegiate or even casual, join our Discord. And if you can't find the link for our Discord, go to the Facebook for Ferris Esports. Also, we have a Twitter and an actual website where if you're not up to date on what's going on for the team and the esports in general, you can go and check out the record at ferrisesports.club. So, hopefully the game will be starting soon, but any thoughts, like any huge changes that have happened to the game that would like drastically affect the Bulldogs?
So, patch 1.32 point...
A lot of points.
Has found the change on D.Va and Reaper in particular. D.Va's Matrix is probably the biggest one. 1 to 2 seconds. 1 second doesn't seem like a huge change, but when it comes to eating spam damage, and especially eating ultimates, which is a huge impact on the game, it's a whole different game now when you're playing D.Va.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that when, like you said eating, what that means is when you pull up that Matrix for D.Va, if a grab is getting shot at you, you can actually go up and grab it, and then that grab is completely useless. That her ultimate is gone.
Yep, every projectile in the game, every bullet in the game, no matter if that's an ability or your primary fire, it's gone. But now with this 1 second more of downtime, the opponents that you're against as D.Va can really plot their shots better, and it's up to you to hold that Matrix to the exact moment you need it.
Right, exactly. So, I kind of missed when I was plugging our stuff, was our meetings. So our meetings are on Tuesdays. If you guys want to get in touch in person, I know we're online. It's esports. Obviously, there's online connections. But if you want to talk to us in person, Hunter and myself, we're both on the e-board. You can see us there on Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. We have Overwatch teams, R6, Hearthstone, and many different games coming from the esports club. And if you're interested in making a different competitive game, let us know. We are more than willing to back you up on that.
Yeah, so if you're here on campus, we meet at Flight 110 Tuesdays at 8:30. It's right behind the information desk in the library. If you come and meet us, the e-board will always be there. Some other members come too. We will get you involved in the club, whatever you want to do, whether it's casual, whether it's a team.
Yeah, for sure. But we will be going into the map on Eichenwald. We are excited to be. We are going to be in spectator mode, which means we're going to actually be able to do everything possible when it comes to spectating. We actually have free range, and we're allowed to do it this time. Last season, we could never do this because it was against TESPA rules. But this season, it is allowed if you get confirmation from the other team. So Boston actually was more than willing to allow us to do this for our stream. So as you can see, this is going to be really good for production purposes and being able to see what's going on. Because you know, if both teams run goats, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on when you're in first person. So going into it, we see the lineup for the Bulldogs. Ricochet on that Reinhardt, of course. Icarus on the Zarya. Huge plays coming from him. Telos, insane aim on Ashe. Milk playing Lucio. Adam on Ana with those huge... Oh man, those anti-heal grenades are massive. Bry finally on the huge plays on the Hanzo. So, we're going to be seeing a lot of those, and I can't wait to see what's coming up with it.
Yeah, very excited for this tank synergy coming out. And Telos may be teasing us with that fair and hamster pick. Sometimes just playing around and spawn. We'll see what happens here, though.
Oh, they always tease with these picks in the very beginning, and then that 5-second mark comes in, and they're like, all right, we're ready to go. Let's see some action coming in from the Bulldogs.
Oh, the other team is running a Symmetra, going for the microwave strat early. That Symmetra already has 15% ult coming in. Kind of tripped going out the door there.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of smart for them to do that, especially when, like you said, that ult charge is huge. Looks like the Ashe is going to be getting a quick pick on Bry for Boston, but Bulldogs are going to try to figure out what they're going to do to get through this bridge, as this is a choke point. Huge plays on Eichenwald.
Yeah, that Symmetra is very good for area denial. Just walking through that can actually cost you your life. Those turrets can do a surprising amount of damage, especially 3 of them stacked on top of each other.
You can see this Ashe for Boston is doing some work against the Bulldogs. Boston actually just crumbled the Bulldogs, so now Bulldogs have to regroup, and they will figure out what they're going to have to do to attack this.
Yeah, they have to go about this a little bit systematically, find a way around the Symmetra, but still able to kill those beefy tanks.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs are going to be coming up here. Those orbs coming in strong from the Symmetra on the Boston side. Bulldogs are going to have to figure out what they're going to do against that. That Ashe is doing so much damage to their supports. Bulldogs might have to change comp.
Yeah, they're just taking all that spam in that choke. Like I said, you can get held before you even touch that point. This bridge is such a big place in order to get all that damage and get that lead especially.
Remember, this is a hybrid map, so they're going to have to take those 3 ticks on the Section A to get that payload. Then that payload is going to have to do 2 checkpoints. So they're going to be starting to run out of time here. They have 2 minutes and 24 seconds. They're going to have to figure out what to do to get through this bridge. Telos getting a good pick on that Ashe, though, might give them an open door.
Ooh, the wall comes out from the Symmetra. That's a lot of damage blocked. They might have to wait this one out, but looks like they will actually go in with the bomb.
Bulldogs.
Their way through.
Bulldogs is 7th player, coming in strong for them. But Bulldogs are starting to crumble. That Reinhardt making some big plays and everything getting taken down. Boston is capitalizing on their plays and separating Bulldogs really well.
Yeah, Boston really just getting the better end of that deal. Telos threw in that bomb, hoping to brute force their way through that wall, but the spam was just too much from the turrets, and especially from that Ashe.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Bulldogs are going to be working up this way. It looks like Icarus is going to be getting his ult charge soon. They might be able to use this to their advantage, and it looks like they might be able to get through here. The Bob is going to be a huge distraction for the Bulldogs, not to mention the microwave. Bulldogs have to do something for that, otherwise they're going to be completely stopped.
Ooh, big shatter and big grab. Both fight ending ult, making sure that they do not lose this fight. Ricochet does go down, but it looks like they will capitalize onto this point, cleaning up the remaining members of Boston and capping point A of Eichenwald.
Bulldogs are doing really well on pushing the point, keeping it to themselves, and keeping off of Boston. But Boston's coming in with a Hammond here to try to keep the points for themselves, making a wrecking ball of Spinning Fury for the Bulldogs.
Ooh, big sleep onto that ball. Doesn't get woken up, though, unfortunately.
Looks like the Reinhardt for Boston will be shattering and then charging our Zarya, Bulldogs are struggling to keep this tick. They might get the second tick, but it looks like it's starting to fall apart for them. Bulldogs are going to have to fall back, and only in return with a single tick. As well as a D-Mech coming out on Milk. Milk might be getting shut down and staggered here, but it looks like he did get away.
Yeah, that's a pretty big stagger. Milk is not going to get his mech back for a good while, as long as he can, well, he might be able to land some of those shots. But yeah, when all hope seemed lost for Boston on that first point, the trance came out, and especially with that hamster stall in order to get to them there. And suddenly, Bulldogs looking like they might not get point again.
The huge play is coming in from Boston, using these ults to their advantage. It looks like Bulldogs are struggling here. They are running out of time. They can't get that point. They only have one tick. It's overtime. They have to stagger. Otherwise, they're going to lose this round.
And that might be it for our heroes, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it looks like the Bulldogs did lose the first round. Bulldogs are going to have to make an amazing hold, just like Boston did against them.
Yeah, that's a Metro pick. Very unexpected. The biggest strength of that is just that it's so unusual that a lot of teams don't have experience, so they have to come up with on-the-fly plans on how to get past those turrets and past that choke point.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs are, they did struggle on that push. So, like everyone knows, that bridge is such a huge choke point for anybody. This map is just a very choke point map. And not to mention, there is a lot of range to go above. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a Pharah yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see her coming out a little bit later.
Yeah, there's a whole multitude of things that can come out, especially when you absolutely need that first point hold. The rest of the map is now irrelevant. It is all about that bridge.
Yes, exactly. That little bridge, that little tunnel, it's going to be the downfall of either team here. So Bulldogs, if they do lose that checkpoint, they actually lose the round. Or no, they don't. My bad. The other team actually gets a chance to push the payload, if I'm correct. Right? Or I forgot how this works.
When you do not cap the first point, the other team has to cap as much as you did in a faster amount of time, and then they will win.
Oh, so Boston actually has to get one tick in a faster amount of time than you did.
Yes, I do believe so. So we won't be seeing a lot of Eichenwald here, unfortunately. Symmetra ensured that. But we will be seeing a lot of brawls here right out of the gate.
Looks like Ricochet is pushed up here to get a little bit of ult charge out the gate, but nobody's there. They're going up top. Bulldogs know this, and they're getting ready for this chokehold.
Yeah, the other team, Boston, is running a Genji. They are still running us a Metro as well. How interesting. Maybe they're looking for a teleporter strat. But that Genji is definitely a very faster pace, looking to go through the team rather than fight them head on. And there's the teleporter.
It looks like the Boston did set up that teleport, and they are already on site. Bulldogs struggling to keep alive here. These laser beams flying everywhere. Bulldogs have to keep these players off the site, and not to mention, when they're focused on these players that are on site, there is players for Boston on the side just picking off, doing so much damage. But it looks like Bulldogs will be successful on winning the first fight.
Yeah, that teleporter ended up disorienting Boston. A lot of their support players kind of went to... They weren't playing backline, they were playing more of a front line. So the tanks of Bulldogs managing to pick them off, especially Icaros with that high energy fed from that Symmetra.
Looks like the Bulldogs are going to be trying to hold this bridge again. Like we said, this choke point is huge. Telos getting kind of low. Telos is using his Zenyatta like he traditionally uses when we saw him last season.
Yeah, Telos on the Zenyatta. We have not made note of that, but normally he has DPS, but he has chosen the Zenyatta spot. Equal chance to frag out. It seems like they are getting those picks early. That force out of Transcendence when Boston's already lost the fight might be huge for them.
Bulldogs were winning the fight, but then that Symmetra just got some 2 kills. So therefore, Bulldogs are kind of backed off and just kind of holding the payload. Well, Boston's already pushed up, and they're just holding these fights, trying to get like some easy ult charge. Looks like Genji's going to be using his ult, and multiple things are going to be placed here. Bulldogs are kind of in a chokehold here. They are out of things, but the Shatter's going to be coming in, taking down only the Reinhardt. They traded Reinhardt v. Reinhardt. Bulldogs are struggling here. I take that back. Bulldogs are winning this fight, and they will be capitalizing on all these plays, even though each team traded their Reinhardts. Bulldogs did become victorious on that team kill.
Oh yeah, that Transcendence out there from Talos basically shut down both of their ults, both the Dragon Blade and the Grab. Normally you combo that, but with only one Transcendence, you were trading one ult for two ult, and you are getting the best of it.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs do not have any ults going into this fight, but Boston does have that Shatter, so Bulldogs, if they can guess that they have the Shatter, they got to be careful with their shields, and it looks like that Shatter is going to be coming in.
The shield.
Yep, that Shatter went underneath Reinhardt's shield for the Bulldogs, so Bulldogs have to capitalize here, and they are losing this fight really fast. It's not looking good for the Bulldogs, and it looks like we did end up losing the map for the Ferris State Bulldogs, but there is a map 2.
Yeah, so great play from Boston there. That Symmetra pick definitely threw Bulldogs off. I think it threw him for the loop. You never quite expect it, especially on defense and attack.
Yeah, that we haven't seen a real Symmetra strat coming in from a lot of these teams, but Bulldogs, I think, like you said, they were thrown for a loop and they couldn't really figure out what to do against it. They did pretty good on the defense there for a little bit, but in the end, it did fall short. So going into the second map, we will be excited to see if Bulldogs can get a win here, and then it will be a 1-1 game going into a third map. We don't know what the maps are, so we will figure that out when we return to lobby, but yeah, very interesting to see. What did you think of that game? How do you think the Bulldogs played, and how do you think they can do to? What do you think they can do to fix it?
On that map in particular, on that very small area of point A, where you kind of have walls all around you, you want to get separated from your team. When that sim comes in, you really have to use Reinhardt as a wall. The entire team needs to fight with him, because as soon as the other team gets split, you might find yourself on top of an Ana, and that Ana is not going to survive against that 100 energy Zarya and the Reinhardt swing. You have to just single out the players best you can in all the midst of the chaos.
Yeah, that's like you said right there. That staggering, that separation that the Bulldogs had against them was huge. Boston played that really well. That Symmetra did a lot of damage, and the microwave coming from spawn gave her a little bit of ult charge in the beginning, and then she had the microwave underneath the bridge too. So we will be going into Lijiang Tower as our second map. This map is very interesting. Would you like to give a little rundown of what the map is?
Yeah, so the King of the Hill type, you have the middle area, in this case this very large silo here, where one team must stand and make sure that no other members of the team are alive in order to contest the point. Lijiang is very interesting. It is a very symmetrical map, typically very round. There's usually a main and there's a flank. So in this map here, we're going through main, but on the right side on those stairs, you will see a flank. And it is dependent on hero compositions as well as the team style of where you want to go, and that usually dictates the fights more than anything else.
Yeah, we've seen Bulldogs very victorious on this map usually. They like to push up and get that angles once they get that point, and then they have that really good setup when they on that spawn trap. So very interesting to see here. We will be seeing the traditional run, which is Telos and Milk, and oh god, it's goats. It's goats. It's goats.
Yeah.
It's sadly, oh god. Did you know they actually made Lucio O's? It's actual cereal.
Yeah, we're freaking out about that in Discord. But yeah, goats here. They're gonna be running straight down the middle. The real plan is just to run them over. And against the Symmetra, it might be easier, as the Symmetra does not have a lot of good sustain damage besides their turrets. We'll see how Bulldogs handle the situation in Ryan v Ryan.
Looks like the Bulldogs are pushing up, but oh, that Reaper's coming in huge, taking down Milk and Ricochet. Zesty, that Symmetra, capitalizing on some of the kills, and it looks like the Bulldogs completely crumbled, and they are already back in spawn.
Yeah, I really do think those turrets got the best of them once again. Maybe stairs, that flank path was not the way to go. I do believe they should have gone to point and give that Symmetra less room for those turrets.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like the Bulldogs are going to be in a kind of a cramp here to just try to get out of spawn. They do have a little spawn trap set up on this choke point here. Bulldogs might be able to figure out how to get through here, but in the time that they're trying to figure out what to do, this anti-heal is going to be huge, but the microwave is coming in strong from Zesty. Zesty's taking out Icarus and Bry. Bulldogs are struggling here. They have to figure out what to do now, otherwise that time's just going to keep counting up.
Yeah, it looks like Adam might be an indicator. They will be going on that flank path, far right, avoiding those turrets entirely, and just taking the fight to point, which is where goats should shine.
Yes, it looks like Bulldogs are still going to be rocking this Oh, they are not going to be rocking goats anymore. They have 2 DPSs, which they then take out the turrets. Bulldogs are going to be starting to push up. Let's see what they can do to capitalize on the plays.
Shatter comes down. I do not believe it finds anybody. The grab comes out from the other team and the wall. A lot of ults being used on the side of Boston to try to shut down Bulldogs.
Looks like the Bulldogs are pushing through. Multiple ults being used for the Bulldogs, trying to capitalize on these kills, and they are winning the fight. It looks like the Bulldogs are going to be successful in this fight, and they will be taking the point at 6% and counting.
Yeah, Bry on that McCree really helped with the crossfire, going to point, first of all capping it to draw the attention of Boston, as well as setting up another angle of fire to distract. As we said before with that Tracer, it could work the same as any hero.
Looks like the Bulldogs are going to be kind of playing passive here because they know they're not going to be at the main door. Bulldogs know exactly where they're coming from, and they're setting up properly. They're going to try to keep them funneled in that one direction, but huge plays coming in from both sides here. That Lucio ult did save a lot of them, but in the end, Bulldogs are kind of getting successful here. It is a 2v2 trade right now. Both Reinhardts are down, and 2 DPSs for each side, or 1 DPS for each side is down. Bulldogs have to do something here to stop this because they are losing the point really fast.
Yeah, they have to get on now. They didn't really press their advantage. I think they're a little too afraid. But no, a huge
Icarus
shatter
making,
comes in.
oh, Icarus melting so many people after that huge shatter coming in from Ricochet. Bulldogs are doing super well to try to stop this attack, but it looks like they did end up taking the point. Bulldogs are struggling to try to get it back. If they can get more people, they will be able to win, but looks like that Reaper ultimate did so much damage. It looks like 2 of them will be going down.
Yeah, it's hard to say who is truly coming out of this one on top right now.
It's very confusing.
Yeah, it does look like Bulldogs may win the point in the end. However, the exchange of ultimates may have been bad for either team. A lot of ultimates expended on either side. But the thing is Boston is getting the cap. They are going to get to 99%.
Yeah, Bulldogs are struggling to try to keep this point for themselves because Boston is actually winning the fight currently and getting all this percentage. Bulldogs has to figure out what to do next. They have nobody on the point, and they are losing over time. They're trying to use the Transcendence to get on the point, but it looks like map 2, or round, nope, it looks like map 2 will be going to Boston. Nope, I lied.
Round 1.
Round 1.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, so I do believe the Bulldogs' downfall there was maybe not pressing their advantage enough. They had times where they were fairly even, but the big thing, the difference maker, I think, would have been Icarus on that 100 energy Zarya. Just playing maybe too far into the back line. They had that entire fight, that whole like 50% long fight, started with a Graviton, comboed with a Deadeye, and from there they had a big advantage going through, but I think they kind of lost the point control and ended up losing players as well.
Look like we have the double Western setup for Bulldogs here. We got Telos on Ashe and Bry on McCree. So we'll see how this is going to work for them. They're going to be pushing up Main Street, going into the hut. It looks like, all of Boston have used that teleporter to get into the point faster than the Bulldogs can, and it looks like Boston's already holding the point on defense. Bulldogs have to figure out what to do to get through here and get a quick pick. Zessy's doing really well for Boston, melting multiple people for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are starting to lose this fight, and they need to back out now. Otherwise, kills are going to get either staggered or they're going to get a team kill.
Yeah, that Mace strat, they went through the window on top of point, a very cheeky teleporter spot, and then used the Mei wall in order to kind of section off that point and just gain as much point control as they can. Quite literally walling out Bulldogs in order to doing damage.
Looks like the Bulldogs have to get through this doorway, but there is a microwave set up here, and if the Bulldogs can't get through, they are going to be struggling, and this Mei wall is going to be taking off so much time through this doorway.
Yeah, the wall is out, which means that Ricochet is going to struggle finding a shatter here. He's taking a lot of damage from the enemy coalescence and the microwave gun from Symmetra. It's
a lot of lasers going through Ricochet's shield.
Yeah,
Bulldogs are struggling
to maintain.
Yeah, we never see Telos use Pharah. This is new for me.
Yeah, Telos is all the way in their back line. We'll maybe see him coming back in order to do damage. That Pharah is a direct counter to that Symmetra. She is not affected by the turret or the gun, but it looks like the combo here, the ice and the grab, will wipe out the Bulldogs very quickly.
Looks like Boston is just melting the Bulldogs, using their ults, very well timing. And it looks like Telos is in the back here, just trying to do as much damage as he can with Pharah. but it's not really doing too much for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Telos really just doing his best to rain down spam from above, but it's just not enough to get through that sustain of the Moira on Boston's side. Ooh, a nice pick from the Boston Widow.
It looks like, yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs are struggling to keep at least 4 or 5 in the fight. Looks like that Widow will be taking down Icarus as well. Telos will be getting cheeky 2 picks on Lucio and Azaria, but Bulldogs they don't have really anybody in there to capitalize on any of that. So Bulldogs have to keep backing out.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a trigger finger there from Telos. Waiting for that grab definitely would have been the play, but alas, as they are at 95%, they must do all in, use all their ults in order to secure this point and not lose this map.
Yep, it looks like the Bulldogs will be getting the point finally. They do have 2 ults in their bank account, but looks like Boston is going to have a total of 4 ults going into the next fight at potentially. So Bulldogs have to do something here to keep this percentage going up.
Yeah, ult economy is the name of the game right now. In order to stagger the Bulldogs' shatter as well as grab, use them wisely in order to get as much economy out of them as possible. Ooh, the teleporter will be used to actually get out of that grab, but is too little too late for Boston.
Yes, it looks like looks like Icarus was trying to get a little stagger there, but Bulldogs are doing really well. Even though they did use ults there, it looks like Boston has 4 ults going in this fight, and Bulldogs only have 1. So this is going to vary for Bulldogs. If they can use these shields and this shatter to their advantage, they might be able to win the next fight. We'll see.
Yeah, sights are out. There just needs to be a huge shatter from Ricochet in order to secure and maybe get an advantage on the ult economy.
Looks like the Bulldogs are trying to back off a little bit. Use this
big
huge shatter coming in from the Bulldogs. Fat shatter, as we like to say. Ricochet doing super well, taking down that Reinhardt and Zesty, and they're pushing up, and they have control again. Not to mention 2 more ults coming in for the Bulldogs side, but now Boston has a total of 4 ults. So this should be interesting if Bulldogs can stop this with the 2 ults they have.
The ult economy uses continues for the Bulldogs. Maybe they will try to get use out of this nano boost, possibly onto Icaros or Ricochet to charge their ults even farther. Looks like Telos did land that pulse bomb onto Zesty, and that is possibly a stop for Boston. We'll see how they react.
Yeah, it looks like Boston is actually going to wait for Zesty to respawn, which gives Bulldogs more time. It's kind of showing to me that Boston is going to be pushing all at once, using all of their ults to win this final fight so they can take it. But both sides are going to be at 99%. Bulldogs have to do something to stop this. The Shatter's coming in strong for Boston, and the huge Lucio and the Dragons. A lot of things going both ways. It's kind of hard to keep a track of what's going on, but Bulldogs are winning the fight right now. 4v3, huge shatter coming in. Ricochet making some huge plays. That shatter coming in huge. Bulldogs are actually winning right now. It is 1-1. We have a game on our hands.
Wow, so amongst all that ult throwing, all that Q pressing, the timer just kept going up, and we got to 99%. And I think that actually that pulse bomb onto that Symmetra was the huge difference maker. It really broke Boston's pace, trying to get back into the fight, and then they ended up having to throw everything at once. And ults versus ults, it's hard. You can't make sense of it. And Bulldogs, with the point control, ended up getting the best of it with Telos on that Tracer, and especially Jono hitting those fat shatters.
Oh man, messing up the ult, like you said, that pulse nade coming in from Tracer, completely stopping their Zesty, their Symmetra, because she had that huge wall which would have separated everything, and then they could just launch ults from the other side of the wall. Yeah. So going into this map, Bulldogs will be going on the right side towards bridge, and it looks like Boston's doing the same thing. So we're going to see a really big battle coming up here.
Yeah, battle and white room, as we like to call it, but it looks like they're using that teleporter to go straight to point. Darius slept. He might be in some danger here.
Bulldogs are kind of separated down here. Who's attacking who? It looks like Boston will be winning the first fight. Total of 3 people are down for the Bulldogs. Looks like Telos will be taking nobody down with him. Bride, Telos, and Adam all being taken down, but at least Adam took the Lucio with them.
Yeah, so that beginning teleport into sleep, into Rhinepin, just really messed up the Bulldogs' groove going across that bridge. And onto that small space, you take every bit of damage coming towards you.
Yeah, it looks like the Symmetra, like you said, it just keeps throwing them for the loop. That teleporter came out of nowhere. Bulldogs have to do something to figure out how to stop that. Bulldogs are pushing up right here with a promising push, but the high noon may be the end of this push. Bulldogs have to do something. That nano boost coming in on Ricochet. Ricochet walking in, shattering, did not do anything with that shatter, but the nano is still going to save him and taking down the fight. Bulldogs are going to be very successful in this fight, and they will be taking the point if they can keep everyone off.
Yeah, so using that nano, he actually got a double fire strength kill. Very rare and very cool to see. That shatter did whiff. It might have been just a little too much. Just trying to clean up that fight by himself. But alas, Bulldogs do take the point. Boston now with 4 ultimates and a swap onto the Winston.
So here's what's going on. It's kind of upsetting. Telos did get a really good kill, but this is what I was worried about. Boston has 4 or 5 ults here, and Bulldogs have none.
Right, uses those dragons to try to just deter them away from the point, maybe get some extra damage on. But it looks like they are running him down. Oh, he gets skipped across the point.
So it looks like Boston will be winning the next fight, but it looks like Bulldogs are going to be regrouping, and they will have a few ults on their hand if they can get a little bit of ult charge here.
Yeah, so interesting strategy from Boston coming out with a double main tank. That's typically pretty rare in any sort of professional Overwatch or competitive Overwatch setting. Some typically find the comp to be very hard to manage as you have 2 very different styles colliding with each other. But you can make it work if you have a lot of pressure, and I think Bulldogs are feeling that right now.
Bulldogs are definitely feeling the pressure here. Boston's doing really well, being super aggressive, separating all of the Bulldogs here, especially with the microwave effect. Boston is just dominating the Bulldogs right now, and as you can see, Icaros just jumps off the map so we can get reset and help his team.
Yeah, Milk tried to get a cheeky boop on the way out, but didn't quite get it. They will reset. It is 74-33 right now. Icaros does have that grab, though, as well as Boston. So we might be seeing a double grab. We might be seeing combos. We're going to see ults flying across the screen. Get ready.
It looks like Boston is at that golden number. Bulldogs have to do something fast. They cannot lose this fight, otherwise they will be losing the game. Bulldogs have to take the site now.
And there's the grab. It might be
multiple grabs from both sides. Many things happening. Ricochet taking out that Lucio as well as Telos on Reaper for some reason, taking down the Winston. Cesti getting those kills, but Telos, huge plays coming in on that Reaper. He is using that Reaper to his advantage and doing really well as long as people can take off that Symmetra and that microwave effect.
Yeah, that Symmetra is really causing chaos in the middle of that point, walling off quite literally in half. But it does seem that Icaros and Telos, as a burst damage duo, 100 energy Zarya and a Reaper, were able to pick off those stragglers on point. That Monkey, especially on the side of Boston, is very exposed to that Reaper. But it does seem like Boston will continue on with their strategy.
Yeah, I have never seen Telos use Reaper before, but when coming out here, like you said, he's very strong against that Winston. Looks like Bulldogs are going to be kind of struggling. Telos getting stunned. Bulldogs have to figure out what to do against that Winston. If they can't take the close range fights, that Reaper is going to be kind of useless.
Yeah, so they do. Oh, they lose too early, and it does look like the fight will sway in favor of Boston here, quickly cleaning up with those powerful tanks.
Looks like the Bulldogs have to really rush the site, otherwise they will be losing the game, and it looks like Boston will be winning the second map as well.
So a 0-2 on the side of Ferris, a nice 2-0 for Boston. Well played by them, some very interesting strategy, especially with Zesty on that Symmetra every game.
That is an insane, he is a Symmetra main. That is actually insane plays coming from him. I don't know what his rank is or anything about it, but he does play really well. He places this microwave effect really well. His teleports are really well placed. But what could have changed? What could have changed for Bulldogs when it comes to stopping this whole Symmetra thing?
Well, it can be a little hard to say, as double main tank Symmetra is definitely one of the most unique compositions I've ever seen.
Yes.
Even within scrim blocks, within every other test of the game I've played with the Bulldogs, nothing quite like that. I think you have to really play the strengths or each weakness of each character. I think the Reaper pick was correct. I think Telos just definitely got hardcore shut down by the other team there. But when you have that much chaos, it's really hard to react. I guess playing as one unit against that Symmetra teleporter, and especially just diving at Symmetra, as she does not have a great way of defending herself, getting past those turrets, putting her best bet. But honestly, against this comp, it's anything goes, I feel.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. This very unique, as you could say. setup coming from Boston, but it's good to actually get exposed to it because now Bulldogs, yes, they have lost their second match. They are 4-1 for the season. Now, we aren't going to be casting over the third match today. We are actually going to be going to Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, so the Super Smash Bros. Club here at Ferris, they have a weekly, every single Monday as their meetings, and they have a very thriving community over there. So if you're interested in Smash, particularly playing Smash Ultimate, the brand new Smash came out, everybody's grinding it at the moment, everybody's getting better. Whether really casually or competitively, I would definitely suggest their club. They have a great thing going on there. They've been established for a long time. Even today, they had a carpool go down to Lansing for a tournament, and they're still hosting their weekly, so they are busy. Shout out to Evan.
So it's great seeing that an esports community is thriving. I think that they're going to be merging with the esports club to have work on both sides here. As you can see, we are now going to be streaming their weeklies. So we're going to be very excited to take it over to them as soon as they are ready, and we will be streaming that for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, so by now about 7:30 or so, they should be nearly onto their top 8 bracket. So the top 8 competitors going at each other, finding out who will be the rankings for this week. Each week they post out their power rankings and everything, their placements. It's definitely competitive. It's a very competitive environment, especially when you know each other so well. 20-something people. It's definitely a breath of fresh air in esports.
Yes, it is. And as you said, they had to travel to Lansing. So this is a local event. Like, it has to be played on LAN, correct?
Oh, yes. Fighting games are very important for LAN. When it comes to fighting games, something tight, especially with combos, button inputs, whether it be Smash, Street Fighter, Tekken, you have to have that local feel to it. You have to have that LAN play. And not to mention, the environment of it is very different. TESPA, you may never even talk to the other team as you play those games. But when it comes to Smash, you're around talking, you're discussing, and you're becoming better. It's a very interesting spot. And if you want to become involved with it, they're right here on campus every week.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If you can't get in touch with them and you need to get in touch with them in some way, shape, or form, come contact the esports club. Especially, we can give you guys some contact information. We can help you guys get in touch with them and join them for their Super Smash Bros. Team. So, I don't know what's going on exactly, but hopefully we'll be going over soon. And after we're gonna go to break, and then we will be transitioning over to Super Smash Bros. So thank you guys for all watching. Be sure to check out our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and not to mention our Discord. That will be on our Facebook site if you guys have not joined that already. And not to mention, I can't think of it. Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. we will be having meetings. eBoard, Hunter, and myself will be there. WunderScore or Unknown, as you know. And we will be there, and we'll help you guys in any shape or form to get you guys in the esports scene playing at a collegiate level. We're super excited for this club, and we hope to see a lot of things in the future. So I hope you guys can join us, but we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.